Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
It's fine. He's busy. I get it.
Oh, no.
I talked to Sarah. I was at Cap Ice this week, so I talked to Sarah for like a half an hour. So I think I'm better friends with Sarah now than I am with Tausch, if you just think about the actual one-on-one time. But that's fine. You know, there's other people that are better.
I'm trying to think, Derek. I've invited you golfing probably 15 times. How many times have you invited me out to your course?
You haven't invited me golfing. It's fine though. The one thing that's
let's move on.
Is having a
I haven't invited you.
Having a 3-year-old totally puts as a 40-year-old puts you totally backward to where you were when you first had kids and you realized, oh, I'm going to have totally different people I hang out with. And then you start to get freedom back, and Sid's getting old enough for you, Jason, where you'll probably hopefully start to have a social life for yourself.
I'm in no rush.
I can assure you he will not.
It's like I took a new job. I now have a team of like 30 people. It's going to be 30 people that I do.
You supervise people
all over North America. I'm in the development of a sales academy for our larger holding company for Converge. So I've got to mentor and sit on calls and come up with curriculum to teach them how to deal with. How to have conversations with people that are 20 years older than them that don't sit on Snapchat all day. It's
wow.
There's patterns I see.
I don't want to second guess any of the corporate folks that made this decision. I'm not doing that. I'm sure you'll do a great job. You're very big on connectivity. So have you gotten like Snapchat to make yourself a little more relatable?
No, I mean I hate it so much that I just the biggest thing I would tell you guys is I'm doing a lot of work with Tesla right now.
I love that. Sides everywhere, sides. Yeah, band?
They're the AI chips and some of the projects that they're doing with NVIDIA, and it's scary. And I have my nephews that are all that age too, and they're like Hunter. I was talking to Hunter. They're trying to save for a house, and there's big money out there, but you have to know what you're doing. Like you have to understand and be in conversations about machine learning and how you're going to work with outcomes and like interpret data.
Okay,
so
I don't want to interrupt you, but I thought we were going to make this like the fun segment, and instead, it's like the rise of the machines in Terminator, and I have to be worried about my robot turning on me like it turned on Will Smith and iRobot.
But no, we can talk about
Derek. Should Greg Gard be fired? Let me help you out here, Jason.
Thank you. I thought that's what I said at the end of the last segment.
It was. I don't know how we got here.
I
didn't even know
I'm
we were
usually
on
the
for a
one
while.
I talk
didn't even know we
AI
were
for
on.
2 seconds, and I say I don't want to go into that because nobody gives a rip on that's listening
No,
to this.
I think
there's plenty of AI podcasts.
I think what's interesting is Greg is supposed to be a basketball coach, right? So you're looking at
that's what they said.
At what the skill set was for all of that, and it's like it's changed. And that's kind of what happened with Paul Chris, too. And every coach is struggling with it. And can you imagine having a lower-end program, a mid-major, and you're losing all your kids all the time and the criticism that comes with that and trying to rebuild? I think he's got a year. I don't know what you guys think, but I think Greg is sitting where we know he can coach basketball. That was the question when he took over for Bo. Could he coach? Well, yeah, he can coach. And he had the team playing really well. But then team chemistry issues come up because you've got folks that sometimes are strangers probably at some, and trying to get all that to work together. And the year can start to go sideways, and then attitudes are different. You might have people checked out halfway through the year. So I think that he's got to win in the portal here a little bit. And then when he gets done with that, he can go out and score. Score with the guys that are going to get the points and be able to run up and down. I don't know if you can recruit anymore and play in 50, 60-point basketball games. So we have to try to get to the athleticism. So like a Mason-Dixon line there, where you're above the line to be able to not have what happened against James Madison happen, where an aggressive team that maybe not be as skilled can just come out and be more ready to play and make you look bad. So hopefully we get some players in.
Are you advising Connor Sejan on his next stop if he hasn't chosen
the way we talked?
already?
We talked about him like he was really, really loyal, and we love that about him. And then he kind of made a decision that was, I don't know, in his best interest, or if we, you never know.
He didn't play against James Madison when they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn offensively.
It'll be interesting to watch, won't it, Jason? Like,
yes.
Wherever he lands, what's he going to look like?
Yep. You and I will be watching.
He can shoot, but
The Connor Sejan fan club on Wilde and Tausch. It's two people. It's you and me.
yeah. So,
Derek, are you okay? We need to move on.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've gotten more downtrodden as your appearance.
Just coming
Are
to
you
the
just
end.
sad to say goodbye? Are you gonna keep coming to the Spark building and just sit in the lobby with the security guards?
I'm gonna miss the coming down. I think I have a lot of trepidation about when the fall rolls around, guys. What is the landscape going to look like? What's going to happen in the intervening months? And where are we going to be? I still see, from a football perspective, our recruiting class is where it's supposed to be. We're doing well, even though we lose people from time to time. It's just hard to analyze or have opinions or takes about stuff because you're just not sure. And that uncertainty is scary for me because I like being a college sports fan. And that's going to change. And we're going to notice it a lot more as the conference really starts to change now. We're going to be playing different teams that are going to be in our conference of 18. So it just, as you start to think through these things, it's hard to give hot takes or give answers because they're complicated. And that's what we have to sort through as fans, as people that cover the sports. That's why I bring up all these issues about data, the gambling data, all the hands that are in the cookie jar here, and the way the world's going with where I work and what I see on a daily basis, in contrast or combined with what's going into athletics.
Derek, we're going to miss you. I hope you're chipper and everything that you are concerned about by the time you return to our program in August will at least have trended in a more positive direction and you feel good, you're refreshed. Enjoy all the highlights of parenting and hockey at Cap Ice Arena.
Quick Trip free samples.
Going golfing with Tausch when he.
I think I have better odds of golfing with Jesse. I think in the upcoming.
That'll be fun. You guys have a good
stop
time.
a quick trip on your way home afterward. Perfect.
I'm hoping to recap the trip to Italy with Tausch, and I'm hoping to.
That'd be fun.
It's a slideshow coming.
Maybe be
and
up
a book.
In
We'll have a
Appleton
slideshow.
And
Yep.
get a crumpet and some coffee with Jason, maybe in his basement. I don't know
you're
where
not coming to my house, but maybe I'll see you when I'm in Madison next time.
I can come sit across from your front yard.
I have the same security staff as
the.
I have the same security staff as the Spark building. They have a picture of you. They know what to expect. Derek, we do appreciate everything all season long. We look forward to next season. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Tausch, tell us a little bit about AmFam. Try to bring us back up and make us happy again.
All right, calling all Packer fans. American Family Insurance wants to see you and a friend in Detroit this year for the draft. Enter the Dream Draft Day sweepstakes for the chance to win 2 tickets to the draft, travel and hotel accommodations.
On air,
to Detroit,
online,
a custom jersey, and much, much more. Go to amfam.com/Packers to learn more and to enter. That's coming up. We're only a couple weeks out from the big night.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is On Air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
KFC's new Saucy Nuggets are here to show you what it really means to have the sauce. These juicy hand-breaded nuggets come drenched and dripping. Get the real sauce. Try KFC's new Saucy Nuggets, available in Nashville Hot, Georgia Gold, Honey Sriracha, Korean Barbecue, or Sticky Chicken. Dripping in flavor. 10 pieces for just $5.99. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Be part of the grand opening weekend for Bars and Rec's newest venue, The New Fashioned, on April 6th and 7th, with a ribbon-cutting ceremony starting at 2 p.m. Saturday. You can savor Milwaukee flavors from Benson's Restaurant Group and wet your whistle at the self-serve pour wall with 50 taps of local brews, craft cocktails, and old-fashioned flights. Enjoy Sunday Fun Day with a curling party featuring Becca Hamilton and Team USA. Plus, comedian Charlie Barons will be bartending from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the Midwest Nice Party. Barsandrecreation.com.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Bunzels.com.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame, Dollar, Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Thanks to Derek Blakesley. We love that guy, and we look forward to next season with him and PDS. But Tausch, I guess my question for you after our time with Derek, which was, we've had a few of these serious conversations, and I think they're important conversations to have. And I think he's right about, look at the life that you, for example, have built, right? Your parents weren't wealthy, right? And you have built an amazing life for you and your family because you finally got to play your last year at Wisconsin, and then you built an awesome NFL career. And so I agree with his assessment that there are kids that are being forgotten in part of this equation, and the NCAA loves its student-athletes phrase, but I just see a lot of dollar signs for a group of people, several groups of people when I look at this. Are you as concerned as Derek is, and as I am, about what we will eventually land at, or do you think the better forces will figure out a way to not just leave the Mark Tauscher type players behind, the walk-on who earns his way onto being a starter on a football team and doesn't enter the transfer portal because back then it didn't exist?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with both of you on that. I think there's more opportunity now than ever. And there's more opportunity to actually grow and to get a piece of the pie. And not everybody gets selected or gets the chance to go play in the NFL. You can now go to a smaller school. You can play and showcase yourself. And what you're seeing is some of these bigger schools now will throw some money at you to come and play at their school because you've proven yourself, where you didn't have that mobility before. And you're getting a couple $100,000 to come play.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of kids in the transfer portal that aren't getting any of that.
But at some point you have to play and you have to perform. So you're still getting opportunities to go on. So I understand the initial point, that some of these colleges are going to look more for developed talent, but you're still going to have to go. You're going to go to smaller schools, prove that you can play and get there, rather than walk on. But there's a lot of kids that would do that anyways. Right now, if you can play and you can develop and you find a place, the world has never been better for athletes. There was such a suppression for so many years, and now there is money to be made. There's opportunities galore for all of these high school athletes that go on. Now, whether or not some of these smaller schools are going to survive, that's a question mark that it concerns me. But as we're sitting here now and how things are shaking out, it has never been a better opportunity for young football players to go grow their talent and get paid while they're in school compared to where we've ever seen it before. And obviously, if you can play, the NFL finds you and knows where you're at, and that opportunity continues as well. And you have the XFL, UFL, that whole deal. So the opportunities are everywhere if you're willing to work and to showcase yourself and maybe go through some things to prove that you can do it.
How many players on a team right now are getting money?
No clue.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that's part of the problem too, right? Like, you have no idea. You have no idea. But there are plenty of guys on these teams that aren't making money, that aren't getting a piece of the pie.
You're still getting opportunities. And, again, for me, I never should have been paid in college. Matter of fact, I paid to come to college for the first 2 years. But for the other part of it, when I was a sophomore, a junior, I wasn't playing, and I was getting a ton of great things. Now, you'd also be getting some money. That never was going to be the case back in those days. So this huge pie that keeps growing and growing and growing, players are going to start sharing in that, and that is a good thing.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope they're going to share from that pie.
Well, they're going to have to.
Because that's not what they're getting right now, and that's why some are getting some and some aren't.
That is what the crux of the conversation we started at the top of this hour. That's what this is about. Because the sustainability of asking donors and businesses, I always laughed when people, just go get a car deal, and all these players are going to get all this. That's not how anyone that actually understood how it was going knew that's not how this works.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
It's just not. So now you're going to say, all right, CBS, NBC, ESPN, everybody is paying into the Big Ten and all this other stuff. Players are going to start getting a cut of that. That's how it should be. But
that's how it is in the NFL.
Side, players will be taxed on that. And that's where you hope there's good accounting firms. And there's good because what worries me is people aren't going to know what the hell's going on and think, this is great. And next thing you know, guys are in the clink because they didn't pay their taxes. That's the stuff that you better start paying attention to.
Well, if you're going to get that money, make sure you put it at Associated Bank. They've got all the kinds of people that can help you with that money, make you smart about investing it, make sure you know the tax laws, all the things that you need to know. And if you're a Packers fan or maybe a future Packer who's getting his NIL money in college and hoping that he'll be drafted into the NFL, Associated Bank is the official bank of the Packers. AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Find out more about all the great perks that come with being an Associated Bank Packers checking holder. We'll continue this conversation, or maybe we'll shift gears. Stick around to find out. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. the best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I cannot imagine that there's any way that he missed the game because he's unhappy that the game was on turf. I think that's preposterous to me.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30.
I thought they looked great. I got to be honest, I think that's what I kind of expected from the Packers.
Presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Construction Business Group and Island Resort and Casino.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May. Score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries. 5 times the entries on drawing days and when the Milwaukee Brewers play at home. Got what it takes? Slugger, only at Potawatomi. For more details, visit paysbig.com/sportscar. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Hey guys, it's Brad Nortman here to tell you about a great offer at Bank 59. I know we're all looking for ways to save our money, and at Bank 59, you can earn more by opening a money market account today. With rates as high as 5.3%, you'll earn more while working with a true local community bank. Be sure to check out their great CDs too. Helping you save more of your money is another way Bank 59 is making lives better. For details, visit bank59.com/MM specials. Member FDIC.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Are you ready for summer? Cousin Subs and Summerfest are teaming up once again for the return of the world's largest music festival with a special ticket offer. Simply place an order online at cousinsubs.com of $30 or more now through April 30th and receive a free weekday Summerfest ticket. This offer is not valid in store. One qualifying purchase per day per email will result in a free weekday ticket. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. For complete list of rules, visit cousinsubs.com/Summerfest.
Discover the difference at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Higher Love Cannabis Company is the only cultivator in the UP offering organic, clean, green certified products. That means quality you can trust every time. With 7 locations across the UP, including Menominee, Norway, and Ironwood, finding your Higher Love is easier than ever before. And for our friends in Green Bay, Higher Love is less than an hour away. Kindness starts with you. Experience Higher Love today. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD and follow them on social media at Find Higher Love.
Homer here to tell you about Rawhide Youth Services. Co-founded in 1965 by Bart and Cherry Starr, Rawhide is a faith-based nonprofit that helps thousands of youth every year, many right here in Milwaukee, overcome trauma, suicidal thoughts, and live better lives. For youth who are hurting, who feel lost or abandoned, and families feeling powerless to help them, Rawhide is there to help. They also need vehicle donations to support their mission of helping hurting youth transform their future. Donate to Rawhide Youth Services. Visit rawhide.org/donate.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I'm at Quick Trip last night. I had achieved 2 of the offers. Spend $15, you get 15 cents off gas. And then they had another one a couple days later. So I go to the pump. 30 cents off. They stack on top of each other. Put in 20 gallons of gas because I made sure I waited until my tank was almost empty. May have overfilled to get to an even number of dollars as well.
Heck yeah. Hey, didn't you say you had a Quick Trip story from like last week that you wanted to share with us?
So I'll tell you this, and they have no idea that the folks that were answering my email had no idea that they're a partner of our show. I didn't mention any of that. All I said was, look, one of these offers that I used yesterday, I made the purchase, but, and this is an important tip for those of you that have joined the Quick Rewards, you have to make sure you activate it beforehand. So you go into the app, you activate it, and then you make your purchase, and then you get your your discount on gas or whatever it is. And I threw myself on the mercy of the court. They said that they're very responsive with messaging, and they said, you're an idiot, but we'll make an exception in your case this one time. They said it much nicer than that. But I was able to get my 15 cents off a gallon. So I was really excited. They were great. Great customer service, great experience. They could have been tough and said, no, just be smart enough to answer that before you make your purchase, but they didn't. It was great. And I got a response the very same day. So I was really impressed with them. And Tausch is really impressed with their chicken. For life.
Best chicken. Yeah, you better believe they have the best chicken. Chicken tenders, roasted chicken, all the chicken you could possibly want. Put it up against anybody. If you haven't tried it, what the heck are you doing? Get into your nearest Quick Trip, pick some up. You won't be disappointed. And we don't have many days left in this deal. We've been raving about it for weeks. Right now, you got that $9.99 8-piece tenders or bone-in chicken until April 8th. It is perfect for a quick, easy dinner. But wait, there's more. You can win Quick Trip chicken, fried chicken, not for 2 weeks, not for a decade, not for a century, depending on as the world keeps going.
Wait a minute.
If you read, I've read a couple of books. There's some stuff going on. Get automatically entered for a chance to win by purchasing any fried chicken product using your Quick Rewards. You get tenders, bone-in, boneless, crispy chicken sandwiches. All you do, use those Quick Rewards Jason was just talking about. Be entered to win at a chance for an 8-piece bone-in fried chicken a week for life. You must be 18 years or older. See all of the details at quicktrip.com/fried chicken for life.
Just to clarify, these books that you've been reading, that there's some stuff going on, that's not the same as the stuff that Gina Della's got going on that she's been doing to be sleek?
No,
these
totally
are different? Okay.
Totally different.
I didn't want anyone to leave the conversation confused. What books are you reading?
A lot of different kinds
some stuff going on.
The way you've been using there's some stuff going on, I'm guessing by the time we get to training camp, Jason will be reporting from the sidelines, hosting the show, and we'll say, how's it looking? Yeah, there's some stuff going on. And that'll be the analysis we get for the day.
Been reading a couple of books. All right, we will kick off the 11 o'clock hour. There is scheduled a rendition of Where's Wilde, which I don't remember the last time we played that. Ooh. Wonder if I said something really interesting that prompted Jesse to play that. We'll find out during the 11 o'clock hour, which kicks off in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Haul away big deals this Thursday through Sunday at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of black oil sunflower seed on sale for $14.99. Save on a Blackstone 28-inch griddle with cover and accessories, just $249.99. Pick up 4 bags of garden soil on sale for $10. And save on 40 pounds of Morton water softening pellets for only $5.79. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm here with Dr. Chris Killian. Doctor, what makes an OAW surgeon different?
A very unique factor I think that we have at our group is that every single surgeon here is fellowship trained, meaning everyone has gone through specialty training in their specific area of focus. So if you come to get your knee replaced or if you come to see me and get your shoulder done, every single person that you come and see has specific advanced training in that field.
You mentioned that your specialty is shoulders. Shoulder issues can be complicated. How do you approach your patients?
Shoulder injuries are incredibly common with either young athletes or especially as people age, people develop shoulder issues, whether it's rotator cuff issues, arthritis. So we can get a sense of it ahead of time based on what their exam is like, what their MRI is like, what they're doing in therapy. But you're right, there's a wide breadth of surgeries that luckily we have a vast array of treatments for.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on. I'm not giving up, no, not me.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with something else that we heard Matt LaFleur say during his conversation with Kevin Clark, talking about the development of Jordan Love. And I spent some time talking this morning and yesterday with Alex Strofe and Jim Rutledge on Rutledge and Hamilton without Hamilton about how much buzz there really is about Jordan Love. And I don't think this would squelch any of that buzz. Here's Matt LaFleur again with Kevin Clark in their podcast, This Is Football.
Oh, the growth has been incredible. It's been phenomenal. He is so much fun to work with. He's a guy that continually learns from both the great plays and the not so great plays. So I'm excited about what the future has in store for him.
So he is, you can hear it in his voice, Tausch. And again, I don't want to make this a comp with Rodgers, but I have to, but I'm going to. I think there were times where it was really not very fun for Matt LaFleur. And you can hear the enjoyment, and not just in that clip, but in many clips and in conversations we've had with him and I've had with him. He really is loving working with Jordan Love. There's no doubt about that. My question for you is, I think every time he talks about growth, I think it underscores the fact that there were doubts, right? Because if he doesn't grow by these leaps and bounds that everybody's talking about, he doesn't end up being as good as he appears to be. And so it's great now. How much more growth do you see for him? Because that's all we talked about last year was how much growth he had shown, and deservedly so. But green and growing ain't enough. Eventually, it's got to be green and winning. And I think he's capable of that. But how much growth is still ahead for him?
Well, I think there's still, he has not hit his ceiling by any stretch. I think we saw moments where you think, this guy's really good. And then we saw what we saw in the fourth quarter against San Francisco. When the money was on the line, it didn't get done. And that was the first time I felt like the moment kind of got him. I think he pressed. And he forced some things and did some things that were uncharacteristic of what we saw in the last 10 weeks of his kind of real accelerated growth. So it all comes down to consistency, and I think young players strive for that, and you want to start getting to the point where all right, this is what this guy's going to do, production-wise. Boom, this is where he's at. And I think the thing that Matt LaFleur is excited about is he still feels like he's malleable. Mm-hmm. This isn't some 15-year veteran that's got, I'm going to check to this because this is what we got, and I know this and this and this. And there's still the yearning for teaching and for growth of, I don't have all the answers. I think that's the part of it I think that's going to be really interesting, and the fact that Matt LaFleur can continue to grow with him, understanding different concepts, but the skill set and the talent that we think we all heard about, it was the accuracy part of it, having your feet married to what you're doing, throwing the football. Mm-hmm. We saw a monstrous amount of growth there because there was a stretch, even when he played well early in the season for bits and pieces, and when he was awesome in Atlanta for a vast majority of that
glimpses
game,
of brilliance, some have said.
There still turned out where there were some mistakes and some things. The accuracy was the big concern. And you took, some of us that were saying, I'm still worried about the accuracy. Oh, you can't. No, you can't live in the NFL being a 53% completion. That's not the way the league is. You need to be 66 plus. If you want to be big boy, 65 plus, that's what you need to be in this league now.
Sure.
Jordan was that at the end of the season. So all of those things, his growth was awesome to watch. But now it's, can you do it week in and week out? Can you consistently make all of those right reads? And I still think, if I'm Matt LaFleur and you're looking at all of his snaps and Tom Clements and everybody else, I still think some of those touch passes underneath screens, there are some things that I still think he has a long way to go. And putting the right touch on it, his arm angles, he's got so much stuff that he's shown already that are only going to improve, because the thing that I love hearing from Goody and everybody else is his approach and all the things that we kind of joked about, all of his positives last year when we didn't know anything about how he could play, team leadership and work ethic and all those positives. Well, now we've seen that, and you marry that up with the talent. That's when you can get excited as a Packer fan that it's going to be that much better.
All right, so I love Ted Lasso. One of the lines I think it's in season 2, Coach Beard says to him, "Every person is a different person." And it's important to remember that, right? Because we do a lot of comparing of people and stuff like that around here. I am sure, you used the word malleable. I am sure that Aaron Rodgers in 06, 07, 08, 09, 10 was malleable, right? Even as maybe strong-willed as he can be at times. And then eventually he stopped being malleable. Would you have seen that coming as his teammate then? Because I don't see that coming for Jordan Love, where he gets to the point where I know more than you. I'm the one who's out there. I'm going to do my own thing. It's hard for me to picture him that way with his personality and what I've seen from him thus far. But again, as David Bakhtiari said, you don't know what people become until they get paid the really, really big bucks. And he said he doesn't think Jordan would change either.
Yeah, you know what? None of us know. And from my perspective with Aaron was not that guy when I left. Like, he had just won a Super Bowl. He had not had an MVP. So it's easy to say when you're a young player and you're with the same guys that you started with, and there's not that, whoa, that's Aaron Blank and Rodgers. Oh, that's Jordan's not there yet. But if you think that Jordan Love is going to be the same cat in 8 years that he is right now, if he has a couple MVPs, he's not. People grow. Relationships change. How you're viewed by your teammates and by your organization change. And it's not always that you change. It's people change how they approach their interactions with you.
No doubt. Yeah.
And then that changes you. So it is not some easy, Jordan's going to be this same guy when he's 32 years old. No, he won't be. That doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's going to be better. But it's not how the world works, and especially it's not how the world works for star quarterbacks in the NFL. You think Tom Brady is the same? Go watch that dynasty. Tom Brady slamming beers with his old lineman and all that, and then next thing, 10 years down the road, he's sucking down avocado shakes with Brazilian models, and it's a different world. And I hope Jordan Love gets to the point where he's got the same problems Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all these other, Pat Mahomes. I hope that happens, because you know what? That means there's a lot of success coming for that young man.
I hate to compliment you, but you have never really changed. I'm wondering, though, once you get on the Johnson & Sons paving crew and they start seeing your knowledge, are you going to be malleable like that concrete, or are you going to start saying, hey, I got a lot of experience here. Maybe you guys should listen to me instead of me listening to you. I may be the intern around here, but I'm knowledgeable.
Well, I have a vast knowledge of concrete. Don't have as much in asphalt, so that's why I hope they put me on an asphalt crew and I get to drive that yellow little smoother, because I don't. And then I'll have to listen because they have all that expertise. 2 civil engineers on staff, a team with decades of experience. They've seen it all. And now if you're looking to get some work done, book with Johnson & Sons Paving. And if you want Old T to get out there, time is winding down. Get signed up, johnsonsonspaving.com. Get on there. I'm not sure where we're going to end up. I don't know what day we're going to end up doing it. I don't know any of that. But if you're looking to get your job done, get moving. Those preferred dates, get booked up. johnsonsonspaving.com.
I think the Green Bay Airport should put in a request for a job. And then you could help extend the runways so the Packers could fly to Brazil.
That has to be getting announced here this week, right? If they're doing it, I think
what's the holdup? What's the holdup?
Murphy said he thought they were going to announce it last week. It's been an entire week since then, so they must really want the Packers to go.
Arm twisting is occurring. I'm sure it's the Green Bay mayor's fault. We will play some Where's Wilde next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hey, it's Ben Brust, and join me for a look back on one of the most memorable basketball seasons in Badger history. A banner year, the story of the 2014 Wisconsin Final Four team, featuring great conversations with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, Barstool Big Cat, Iron Eagle, and more.
Wisconsin is headed to the Final Four.
Find it on ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube, live on 94.5 ESPN, and wherever you get your podcast.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
After a season of record-breaking performances and historic moments, this Bucks team is postseason ready, led by a dynamic group of players who have redefined the game. It's officially Fear the Deer season. Help defend home court and join the best fans in the league at Fiserv Forum for the Bucks playoffs, presented by BMO. Don't miss the chance to experience the intensity and excitement firsthand. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit bucks.com/playoffs. That's bucks.com/playoffs.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gabe Neitzel here. I know you've already heard me talking about how Mentality has helped me over the years, but there are others like me. Jason has been using Mentality for a while now and is loving the results.
I have gotten a handful of friends, probably a couple dozen, especially those that are closer to my age, maybe even a little bit older, because I just tell them, you got to check this out. Do not wait any longer. Just go and admit it. Yep, you're at an age where things are slowing down. I promise you, you're not going to regret it, and that's truly what I get. I'll get a phone call after, like, man, I feel like a kid at Chuck E. Cheese right now.
Learn more today at LowTUSA.com.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for the Bath Authority, and if your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew or broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Call 414-249-6934 to schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com, a better bath awaits.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. All you do, pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets hurt. For basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss. Prize Picks is really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions and special offers for the biggest moments in sports. Download the app today and use code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
So long, and I'm sure it won't live up to the advanced billing of "you can only prevent forest fires," but it's time now for Where's Wilde?
Since he often saves his best material for other shows,
if there's something difficult we need to talk about, let's have the conversation.
We're bringing the other shows to us.
I would be very leery if I was a Packers fan.
Or are we?
Tausch takes a lot of days, man.
It's time to play Where's Wilde?
It is, and it has been a while. Let's find out where Jason shared some of his best material over the last week on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves. Tausch, remember the rules. WTMJ or ESPN Chicago or ESPN National, those do not qualify for the game that we're playing here.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make sure we're all on the same page because it's been a while since we've played. Here is clip number 1.
I think he's become a believer in the idea that it's more than ever a young man's game, and getting inexpensive young players and getting them to execute and play well is the way to go. And I'll be curious to see if we see them give out fewer second contracts to good players moving forward, or if there'll be some players that are good enough that they say, you know what, even though this guy's 26 and he'll be 30 by the time this contract ends, we will give him a second contract. Because I'm convinced that he's convinced that he doesn't want guys, very many, if any, guys that have had their 30th birthday on his team.
Where's Wilde?
He being Brian
So none
Gutekunst.
of these... Yep, I figured that was the case. You're not doing any Wilde and Tausch, right? This is all somewhere else.
I didn't say that.
No, you forgot. It's been so long, you've forgotten the rules.
Wilde and Tausch is on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves.
Yeah, and Jason, when I'm out, is allowed to talk more. He doesn't get interrupted. He's asked questions.
Now, I will say this for you, Tausch. Because you've complained about the malfeasance of doctoring the audio over the years, there will never be any doctored audio to make it sound like a phone call when he's speaking into a microphone.
Gotcha.
We won't do that anymore. Okay. We won't try to fool you that
All right,
bad.
I'm going to say this is KBN. KBN. Jason's point is really interesting. I wish he'd say that on Wilde and Tausch again. I have to take some blame for that because by all accounts, when Gary Ellerson and Bulaga are hosting, Jason talks and answers more questions and everything else. But this whole concept of not getting a second contract, that is bunk, Jason. great players that are 24 are not going to be walking out this building. But the third contract, and Kenny Clark's going to be a really
That's
interesting
what prompted this conversation is Kenny Clark.
I believe that. Then that was yesterday on our show with Domofsky.
I think so too.
The actual, well, I'm not going to go there. I've already said KBN. But this whole concept of, and especially if you have 5 wideouts like you do that are all in that first, second year deal, I think it's going to be more preemptive trade.
Yeah.
Youth replenishment. But if Dontavion Wicks pops and is the guy you think he's going to be, I would guess that you're going to see contracts handed out year 3, 4. You're not going to let guys get to that 5th year where you're going to be paying top dollar. You're going to preemptively go. But Goody has been very adamant about not giving that third deal. And the Kenny Clark component of this is going to be sehr interessante.
You just combined 2 different languages there. That's pretty good, right? Interessante, not German. Sehr, very German. Look, I think it's KBN too, but I don't want you to misinterpret my point. Yes, there will still be guys that get second contracts, but I think you just agreed with me without knowing it. I think there's going to be guys like, whether it's John Runyon, who maybe in the past would have gotten that second contract and played well and gotten kind of a middling second contract. I think there's going to be guys that you would want to give a second contract to, but part of the conversation that I was having with, I think, Kyle, that prompted this, and Jesse, tell me if I'm wrong. Did we get this right, KBN?
Rutledge in Hamilton, weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5
I also
ESPN.
talked to them. But the conversation was, all these guys that Goody has brought in and that draft class from last year, they're all going to hit free agency at the same time. And so if you believe in the young man's game and you want to replenish, there are going to be guys that might have gotten a second contract before that won't now because you've got 4 different guys that are up for them. And you move on from some of them where maybe you wouldn't have previously.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see more preemptiveness as far as both getting guys deals done and potentially trading guys, although Russ loves that compensatory pick pool deal. He loves it, and they manipulate it as good as anybody does. So if you end up with, let's say, Reed, which I think Reed's going to be one of your core guys, but let's say Christian Watson has a great 4th or 5th year, all of a sudden then, well, somebody's going to get, and you're going to end up getting a 3rd-round pick because somebody's going to pay him. You kind of let him play, and unless you're getting better than that 3rd-round pick, you just hang on to him. But if you can get a second around the trade deadline, you might start seeing more of that maneuvering by Goody at the back end of these guys' rookie deals.
So real quick, because Watson, the Packers tried to trade for the Vikings' 1st-round pick, number 32 overall, which would have gotten the 5th-year option for him. Instead, he ends up being a 2nd-round pick. So they'll have to, he's going into year 3. This is a critical year for him to decide whether you can even be preemptive with him or not. Otherwise, he's going to have to go into year 4, and then he might be one of the ones that, despite being a 2nd-round pick, despite being a guy that you really like, if he hasn't shown the durability or he has a breakout 4th season and he prices himself out, you don't give him a second contract, right?
Yeah, and also you're going to look at it and say, well, man, Dontavion Wicks is balling.
Right.
He's going into his 3rd year. Maybe we offer him a preemptive pay him a big deal, and then Christian Watson knows and then that's why when we are talking ensemble versus the 1, it just isn't as easy. It's not as simple because things change, dynamics change, rooms change. Even though the guys in the rooms don't, the mentality in the room changes. Money changes things.
Next.
I got that one right.
Where's Wilde?
So I thought you got it right, too. But I think I had a similar conversation with Kyle and Bruss. There was no Nortman the other day.
Chance to get on the board here with clip number 2.
From talking to someone who works for the building, after this whole thing kind of re-flamed up, because I wrote about this over a week ago. I do think that for Matt, from what I understand from this person that I talked to yesterday, he and Goody have actually been in a much better place the last year or so than they had been before. I do think that there was frustration that they were so young last year and that they were struggling, and that I think the coaches were concerned that this was going to be viewed as quote unquote their fault that they were 2-5. I do think that Goody and LaFleur are in a good place now.
Where's Wilde?
That sounds morning walk-ish, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy to me, now that we're not doctoring the audio. And
well, the audio's bad.
I think your point on that, I think, and we've said this all week, when Balaga joined us, the coaches felt a lot of pressure last year because if they didn't show growth, and I think Goody put a lot on by having this roster overhaul in the youth movement, and the general manager felt pressure that these guys, it was going to be, if the season played out the way it was in September and October, there's going to be a lot of shrapnel coming at a lot of people, and everybody was putting their bunkers up.
You're right.
And when you put bunkers up, there's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of, well, I didn't say that, I didn't do this. And that's why I think the Matt LaFleur component of this backtrack off of what he said, because it didn't go Bunkersville. You ended up having a hell of a year, and everybody's looking at Matt LaFleur in a better light than they did actually when Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. Because of the development and the growth and Matt LaFleur's offense actually getting to shine and Matt getting the credit for it, developing Jordan. So I think Matt LaFleur is looking at this like, I don't want any more consternation about this. I didn't mean to say I don't know what the hell is going on, even though
I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Exactly was going on.
I'm going to say the Homer Hour.
One of you is right. The Homer Hour. Weekdays 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
All right, we got time for one more?
This game sucks. By the way, this game sucks.
We can only play it once every 3 months.
Because this game sucks.
Tausch, I believe in you on this last one. Here is clip number 3.
So he was active this year with Josh Jacobs, replacing he swapped out a stud running back for a younger stud running back. And they added a safety who they paid a pretty penny for and who better be a field tilting player for them, given the expectations. But between that 19 free agent group that we talked about with the Smith brothers, Billy Turner, and Adrian Amos, and these two guys, they haven't done jack in free agency.
Where's Wilde?
Pretty strong.
Very frustrated. My little squish ball is popped. It's got a little hole. Do you see it?
It's oozing.
Do I have to dump it? This has been a good squish ball for a while, but it's leakage. Do I have to just dump it?
Yeah. I mean, it can't
I think
do
you
the
should
job
squeeze. With the oozing that has begun, I think we should do a digi only where you're squeezing out that Dr. Pimple Popper show is really popular. I would think that people would tune in just to watch you squeeze out the ooze.
Save it for when we're talking about things being worth the squeeze.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think this is going to be Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jason?
I think it's going to be KBN. We're not even going to bother with if there's anything interesting said in there.
That was Jason's appearance with Gary Ellerson and Jesse Nelson
as a
last
guest
week
on Wilde and Tausch.
I should have known Jesse's ego was going to definitely let him when he was the...
I thought you would know that one.
I should have known. That's... You know what? I can't complain about the game on that one. That one I complain about Old T. That was a mistake. I should have known you were going to fit one of those in there. Normally you put it right away in case we don't get to it, though. Yeah, that's why I asked, is Wilde and Tausch available for it? And I was wrong. Tough
I can't wait to play it again in July. That is it for Whoa, Nelly, Jason Wilde, Where's Wilde, all that other good stuff. We can all agree on this, though, that right now is a great time to shop at Fleet Farm. I just got another notification. I got 5 more Fleet Bucks. I'm up to 15 Fleet Bucks that I get to spend, and I can spend it at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings event, which is back and is underway. It started yesterday. It runs through Sunday. You can haul away huge Huge deals. Stock up on everyday essentials like wild bird food, garden soil, and more. These days last for only 4 days only, these deals. So shop now, hurry in before they're gone. Check out fleetfarm.com to find out more, or check out the app as well. Whoa, Nelly, and Feel Good Friday still ahead. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
The Bucks are back on broadcast TV. Tonight, watch the Milwaukee Bucks on WMLW VM. And you don't need a streaming service to see this matchup. Just tune in to WMLW VM starting at 6:30 on over-the-air Channel 49. Also on Spectrum, DirecTV, Dish, and others. The Bucks back on broadcast TV. Tonight versus the Raptors on WMLW VM starting at 6:30. Visit WMLW.com for everything Bucks.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer. Get started on your fitness journey by going to PrincetonClubNewBerlin.com. That's PrincetonClubNewBerlin.com.
Discover the difference at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Higher Love Cannabis Company is the only cultivator in the UP offering organic, clean green certified products. That means quality you can trust every time. With 7 locations across the UP, including Menominee, Norway, and Ironwood, finding your Higher Love is easier than ever before. And for our friends in Green Bay, Higher Love is less than an hour away. Kindness starts with you. Experience Higher Love today. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD and follow them on social media at Find Higher Love.
Haul away big deals this Thursday through Sunday at Fleet Farm's Truckload Savings Event. Like 40-pound bags of black oil sunflower seed on sale for $14.99. Save on a Blackstone 28-inch griddle with cover and accessories, just $249.99. Pick up 4 bags of garden soil on sale for $10. And save on 40 pounds of Morton water softening pellets for only $5.79. Stock up on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Experience elite orthopedic care at OAW. Their skilled teams in Pewaukee, Brookfield, and Mukwonago offer tailored treatment for your needs.
The Bucks dropped their third game in 4 chances following a 117-113 loss to the lowly Washington Wizards out in our nation's capital. Giannis poured in a game-high 35 points along with 15 rebounds and 10 assists for his 10th triple-double this season. However, Milwaukee is now just 5-5 when that happens.
Played well. Nice move from Giannis, contorting his body inside as he corkscrews down low and lays it in with a foul.
Damian Lillard missed his 2nd straight game, this time with a right groin injury. The Bucks now 18-20 away from home and 47-28 overall. They're back at Fiserv Forum tonight to take on the Memphis Grizzlies.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Book your appointment today at orthowisconsin.com.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership by joining the U.S. Army ROTC. Army ROTC programs transform students into confident leaders and provide a wide range of scholarships to help pursue life-defining careers. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth. Gain the experience and get the resources to open doors down the road. Army ROTC is open for enrollment. Visit goarmy.com/ROTC to learn more about available opportunities and scholarships, including at Marquette University.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Whoa, Nelly. But we do need to pick this week's trivia winner. So, Jesse, you want to make that selection for us?
I will do that right now. Only one contestant has all 5 chips in the helmet this week, and it's today's contestant. So let's see how we do here. Oh, it wasn't today's contestant. That's surprising. Congratulations to Andrew in Fitchburg, who was Wednesday's Wisconsin-Italy Geography
He's a first-timer,
Wednesday.
wasn't he?
He may have been.
Andrew
I didn't write it down, but he may have been. Congratulations to Andrew.
Okay.
So we got some sad news yesterday, and that was that Larry Bechtel, who was the Packers offensive line coach from 1999 through 2005. He'd also coached for the Jets, the Oilers, the Dolphins, the Lions, the Buccaneers, the Falcons. I mean, he was a lifer. Passed away yesterday at age 81. And Tausch, I know how much appreciation you have for the 2 offensive line coaches that were so influential for you as an NFL player. But the minute I saw this, I thought of you, and I thought this is going to hit Tausch pretty hard, and I'm guessing that it did.
Yeah, it was a tough day. I got a text from Marco. There was probably a group of 6 or 7 of us on there, and Big Beck was instrumental for me and for a lot of us. From a career standpoint, we were talking about draft picks earlier, and him trusting to put a 7th rounder out there and working with me, and it was a tough day because you're going through life and day to day, and then there's when you get hit with something that a person who made a big impact in your life, and when they pass away, it makes you think a lot. But a lot of gratitude for what he was able to help me with, and I'm just one of many. But we were discussing it on our text chain and stuff, and what a character. I don't know if you'll see, a character like him in today's day and age. He was loud, he was passionate, and he loved coaching offensive linemen. And I think there was some navigating with him all the time. He didn't do things in probably the most politically correct or the most structured ways, but he meant a lot. He's meant a lot to me in my life, and I would not have had the career I had without Larry Bechtel.
So the Packers actually hire him the year before you arrived. He was on Ray Rhodes' staff, and he was one of the few coaches that stayed and kept on staff when Mike Sherman came along. And so Mike Sherman then had him on his staff from 2000 through 2005, and then obviously there's the entire change after that season. So when, I just remember him chomping his gum, and he went, Jason! He was always teaching me, because he always thought I was an idiot, and he was right, about offensive line play. And that is, he was the one who signed off on me getting to sit in on that meeting with you guys. He had to say it was okay. Man, did he give me some grief that day. But you're right, he was such a character. I guess I'm wondering, obviously I understood when I saw the news what he had meant to you, but it wasn't just you. Like, I'm guessing that all those guys on that text chain yesterday were feeling a lot of the same feelings that you were feeling about a guy who coached one more year in the NFL. He coached one more year with the Lions in 2006, and then he retired. Did you stay in contact with him, and can you kind of articulate what he meant, not just to you, but to the Marcos and the Mike Walls and the Mike Flanagans and all those guys that he impacted, not just you?
Yeah, I think everybody had different relationships with their coaches. Some thought they were great, but to a man, every one of us, even though some disagreed with his personality, and he was, like I said, he's not for everybody. But I think the one thing that we all unanimously would say is that he knew his blank. Like, he knew his football. He'd been around a long time. He knows what works, what didn't work, and he pushed us. And he put us in positions to win. We had a heck of a lot of fun. And where it really, hit me yesterday is when Marco sent the text that his wife had said how much fun and how meaningful it was the time he had with our group and the success that we had. That was when it hit me, probably the hardest.
That was a great group, arguably the greatest in Packers history. Did you get to talk to him much in the intervening years after he retired, after you retired?
So he was able to, he obviously came up for my Packer Hall of Fame thing. We saw him out at Ron Wolf's out in his last couple years were tough. Yeah. He had some tough stuff going on. But we would, he'd still call, he would so we tried to stay in as much touch as you can, but for probably the 5 or 6 years prior to when he started declining a little bit, we tried to stay in touch. And, again, it's just another great reminder of making sure you let people know how you feel about them when they're around.
Larry Bechtel was 81 years old, and he had an impact on countless offensive linemen throughout the NFL. He actually got his coaching start, obviously, at the college level at a variety of schools, NC State, Auburn, Arkansas. He actually spent a year, and I don't know how many times you brought this up, but he was actually the head coach at Louisiana Tech in 1979. I would have loved to have attended those press conferences on a regular basis. Those would not have been dull from the head coach of the Bulldogs.
It was always fun because, his knees were bad, and he would always kind of let us in on how he was doing health-wise and, chomping around. But I could still hear his voice in my head.
Very distinctive.
That old.
Yes.
He had that very distinctive voice, but again, allowed us to have a ton of success with how he approached things and how he pushed us as a group. And I think all of us are eternally grateful to Beck for helping us in our careers.
So, obviously, there are certain players, the Walter Joneses, the Joe Thomases, that are just supremely gifted, right? We all understand that. And I am not in any way undercutting your or any of the guys' talent that you played with. But I've heard you talk so many times over the years that we've known each other about Larry Bechtel and James Campen. When it comes to that position, and I heard something from the NFL meetings, it was Harbaugh talking about offensive line and how it's the one position that if it doesn't play well, everything can go to hell basically for your offense, right? And it's the one unit that gets talked about as a unit. No, not even defensive line gets talked about that way. It's always the offensive line. So how critical is it to have a great offensive line coach? And if you don't have one, how much trouble are you in as an NFL team?
Well, it's the hardest job probably in football because you have to get everybody working together. Everybody has to understand and see things the same way. You can't sit there and I'd always remember coaches with both Campy and Beck would say, even if you make the wrong call, make sure you're all doing the wrong thing so that at least you have a chance, because you can't have it where one guy is sitting there and, I thought you were protecting here and you were doing this. And so it was always about communicating, and what Beck was great at was, we had a ton of fun, and he gave us a lot of, as long as we were getting the job done and, doing what we were supposed to, have a ton of fun with it. But it was always about making sure we were prepared for whatever was going to come our way, and that our group understood it. And what made that group so much fun to be around is we had a ton of success. Mm-hmm. And it was because we knew what the hell we were doing.
We will wrap up the show, as we always do on Fridays, with Feel Good Friday. But I think anyone who came across Larry Bechtel during their time, whether they were a player for him or whether they covered him and interviewed him or passed him in the hallway at 1265 Lombardi Avenue, we all remember him vividly and appreciate the interactions we had with him. He may not have been for everyone, but everyone has a Larry Bechtel story, and everyone smiles at some point.
And to be honest, there's a bunch of them where I'm not going to tell you on air, but there are. As a matter of fact, my Feel Good Friday will be one with. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to Digi only. My Feel Good Friday one will be with